Your crypto in health. You want to know how crypto is working in health? We come to you every day with juicy news on wealth, wellness, and well-being. We're broadcasting to you live from 1.4 degrees south of the equator and 37 degrees east of the central meridian. I like to tell you we're right in the cryptographic middle of the world. You're with me, Scholastica Mugi, and I'm coming to you at 1300 hours coordinated universal time UTC here on the Ubrican channel. You're just in time, and it's always a pleasure to do this together. Now, the Ministry of Health confirmed to us yesterday that we've entered the COVID-19 peak season, and that only means to us that we need to be taking care of ourselves even more. And my hope is that you're keeping warm even as you maintain the good hygiene of washing your hands with soap and water, sanitizing with an alcohol-based sanitizer, wearing your mask every time you're in public, and of course observing social distancing are the guidelines that we have been given by the World Health Organization as well as our Ministry of Health, so that we can keep COVID-19 at bay. So guys, thank you so much for always keeping us company, and of course thumbs up and big up goes to Grace Naomi Shiko, Irene Susan, Barbara Abed Evans, Betty JJ Jojo, David Muturu, Miss Kindness for Chari Productions, Madam Beatrice Marango, Joyce of Seattle, Dr. Stephen Karanja, Mr. Mbuga Kimani Kamau, Eglantin Lonperia, Romario, Producer Purity, Tom Pinch 254, Samuel Getua, Brand Rakoi, Ian Mwangi, Jacob Yator, Arche Limo, Eunice, Ponjoroge, Jane Nelson, The Prince, Triza, Justin, Mohammed Ali, Global Trader, Ruth Owino, Jane Gashugu, Irene Keaton, Engineer Masinga, The Comical Canadian, Mark Waweru, Stephen Opanga, Raja Usman, Veronica Mwangi, Justus Kimeli, Chiza, Charles, Care, Washira SM Pwani, Jane Washira, Lynn Washira, David Ogutu, Bishop Mackenzie, Isaac Ithua, Miriam Flower, Moses, Pastor Zippy, Mr. Mbuthia, Jessica Daniel John, Alpha Nyota, Steve Nyabuto, Jason Gore, Wanjiko Kinuthia, Ibrahim Gitau, Felix Shali, Sherry, Fred, George Oduk. Thank you so much, guys, for what you continue doing to us here on the Ubrican channel. We really appreciate your presence as well as your support. So let's first get some inspiration to keep us going, and we're getting it from Psalm chapter 37, verse 4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Amen and amen. So let's think about that. Of course, God is at the heart of each and every single thing that we do. So on our COVID-19 term, we revisit Fomite. Next on our crypto news segment, we tell you of a Chinese supply chain innovator that is developing a blockchain system for SMEs. And finally, on Ubrica today, of course, we continue with active trading of the Ubricoin, as well as getting to understand exactly how the internet and Ubricoin is connected. So let's begin with Fomite, which refers to an inanimate object or surface rather, that could act as a vehicle for transmitting an infectious organism like the coronavirus. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, one could get COVID-19 by touching a fomite contaminated with the virus, which is SARS-CoV-2. I hope you remember that virus, and then touching their own mouth, nose, or eyes. So fomites include frequently touched items such as your household utensils, your door handles, your light switches, the blankets, your faucets, your paper tissues, the cloth gowns, your phones, among other many faucets that you may be thinking about. So we need to really be looking out for those kinds of things that probably we don't take notice of, because they could be having the virus that is having the COVID-19 disease. So we need to do that, guys. And also keeping tabs with our COVID-19 status here in Kenya. First of all, there's a data that before I bring in the number of people now the COVID-19, the number of people who have been tested and all that stuff, I want to first look at data that is contained in a study by the Kenya Medical Research Institute, that's KEMRI, and Wellcome Trust, that estimates that the number of people exposed to the virus is 2.7 million. Yesterday, they confirmed that the number of people exposed to this virus of COVID-19 is 2.7 million. And now let us look at what is happening currently. The data as of yesterday is that we have 180,206 who have tested positive, who have been tested rather, pardon me, and out of that we have 7,188 who have been confirmed as positive. Thankfully, we have 2,148 who have recovered, and unfortunately, we've lost 154 lives. So you can see, you compare that number, guys, and also you see that we are 2.7 people having been exposed to this virus. Just goes to show you that we need to brace ourselves for more coronavirus cases, without a doubt. And of course, we still also need to be thinking of how we're going to keep ourselves safe, because no one is safe. And we need to take the necessary precautions, as we keep on saying, the good hygiene. And of course, wearing your mask. Don't take it for granted. Wear that mask every time you're in public and observe social distancing, guys. Let's do that. And of course, God above all, we shall definitely conquer. This too shall pass. And moving on to our crypto news segment, we analyze an article on Cointelegraph by Marie Hulliet. Binance's new blockchain Research Institute in China has forged a strategic partnership with a state-level supply chain innovator to jointly develop digital infrastructure for small and medium enterprises, that's SMEs, in the country. Announced today, July 3rd, the institute's new partner is Zhongsha Beidong, a state-level enterprise for supply chain innovation that ultimately falls under the oversight of a ministerial-level organization known as the State-Owned Assets Supervision and Administration Commission of the State Council, or SASAC. Now, SASAC is under the direct management of China's State Council and is responsible for managing all 96 centrally administered state-owned enterprises in the country. Now, as strategic partners, the Binance China Blockchain Institute and Zhongshan Beidou will cooperate on using blockchain technology to reconstruct supply chain infrastructure, as well as as well as promoting industrial innovation and the development of China's digital economy. So we're looking at how blockchain technology is reconstructing the supply chain infrastructure, as well as promoting industrial innovation and the development of China's digital economy. And indeed, China has really embraced our digital blockchain technology and all digital innovations. We have had so many news. So you can see China being one of the superpowers. We need to look closely at what, as the developing countries, we still need to be aware of what is happening around the world, so that we are not left behind because of lack of knowing, but we're left behind because of just sheer ignorance. So, and we don't want this. That's why we keep informing ourselves every day, and we see what are other countries doing with the blockchain technology, and then we come here and see what can we do with the blockchain technology. Now, it is not enough for you to understand blockchain technology as it is with its definition. It is not enough for you to just know cryptos. You know, cryptos are there, it's digital money, and then blockchain money, to be specific. And then what if you're not taking any action to see how that blockchain money is going to work for you, then you're not doing enough. So this is why we made the Ubricoin, for that exact purpose, so that we can familiarize ourselves with the blockchain technology, and also to help all of us in as far as achieving universal health access is concerned here in Africa. So this is really amazing. So if you're in Kenya and you still don't have Ubricoins, there's definitely a big problem, because there's no way this crypto is going to pass you and get to other people, and then you're left crying and wishing that you had a chance to buy the Ubricoins at this price at which they are selling at. So you have a responsibility to make sure that you get yourself some Ubricoin so that you can enjoy in the blockchain money and you can understand blockchain money better. So that is one thing that is very important for us to note, which brings me to, of course, Ubrica today. And again, before we get to you buying the Ubricoins, of course, there's this one aspect, and I was thinking about how the internet is related to UBN. This is a very critical question that we need to be asking ourselves, and even more than that. One of the lessons that we've learned from COVID-19 is that we need to see how we can distribute internet to everyone, because internet is such a key aspect in our lives. And if we had access to this internet, then UBN would not be a problem in the first place. And of course, if we had access to internet, then adopting digital technologies and also adopting digital learning in this country would not be an issue. And so, CS Magoha, we're just urging you to see as a government, as the government and as the Ministry of Education, we don't have to we don't have to let our kids stay at home for that long period. We still need to do something. It's a wake-up call from COVID-19 that we need to look at how we're getting internet access to everyone um, around the country so that we can have learning going on. Because as a result of not of our kids not being able to, go to school, then we have had so many teen pregnancies, and we have seen so many counties that have reported above 4,000 teenage pregnancies, and these are ages between 10 to 19 years. This is really, really sad, because these are not people who are ready to be fathers, to father a child or to mother a child. So we need to see how are we going to engage our students, and how are we going to get this internet to be used by everyone, so that we can see how we don't stop the education, we keep it going. Further than that, now we want to come to the Ubricoin and how it's connected to the internet. And for us to discuss that, we need to see how is the internet connected. We need to see the internet in itself. So the International Standards Organization developed the Open Systems Interconnection Model, that's the OSI, and it divides network communication into 7 layers. Now, this is what I want to discuss today, guys. And we're looking at the first layer, being the physical layer. Now, the physical layer provides the hardware means of sending and receiving data on a carrier, including defining cables, cards, and physical aspects. Fast Ethernet and ATM are protocols with the physical layer components. So that's the first layer, which is the physical layer. Then we go to the next layer, which is the data link. And this layer 2, data packets are encoded and decoded into bits. It furnishes transmission protocol, knowledge and management, and handles errors in the physical layer, flow control, and frame synchronization. We then have the third layer, which is the network layer, and this layer provides switching and routing technologies, creating logical paths known as virtual circuits for transmitting data from node to node. Then we have the transport layer as the fourth layer, which provides transparent transfer of data between end systems or hosts and is responsible for end-to-end error recovery or flow control. Now, the fifth layer is the session layer, which establishes, manages, and terminates connections between applications. Now, this session layer sets up coordinates and terminates conversations, exchanges, and dialogues between the applications at each end. And this particular layer deals with session and connection coordination. We then have the sixth layer, which is the presentation, and this layer provides independence and differences in data representation. That's such as encryption, which is, on the crypto part of it, by translating from application to network format and vice versa. The presentation layer works to transform data into the form that the application layer can accept. This layer formats and encrypts data to be sent across a network, providing freedom from compatibility problems. Now we then finally have the layer 7, which is the application layer, and this one supports application and end user processes. Communication partners are identified, quality of service is identified, user authentication and privacy are considered, and of course, any constraints on data syntax are identified. Everything at this layer is application specific. And what we're saying is we want to see the government moving to see how they can implement these 7 layers. We invest in the internet physical, we invest in internet physical layer, beginning from the physical layer. So by doing this then, guys, it's going to mean that it's going to be very easy for us to move from the physical building, because you see, one thing that we want to keep avoiding is the fact that we think more about physical infrastructure instead of thinking about the physical layer on the internet. This is where the world is moving to, and that is why it was really important for me to highlight to you those 7 layers, so that we can see how are we going to implement these layers, so that we can all move in, and we can definitely, once we have access to internet, then it's really going to be easy for us as a developing country to get to the space where now we're competing with these superpowers of China, USA. Mention them. You can mention all the superpowers. So, guys, this is really important. And of course, you know that at least for you to be accessing the Ubricoins, if you need to send Ubricoins, if you need to access your Trust wallet, the Koinomi wallet, you still need to have internet access, which is why we're saying that we really, as Ubrica, we want to really work on how and to see how we can look for partnerships that really help in, giving us internet access, because we know that you as a Ubricoin holder, once you have the internet access, and of course you're able to be in a position to, get the freedom of sending your Ubricoins wherever you are. And of course, UBN is such a good currency because you don't have to be worried about a third party to send money to you to a different country. Wherever you are around the world, UBN is always with you, and you can send it to any person across the globe, which is now the power of cryptocurrency, and this is really amazing. And I hope that when we look at currently, I want to just look at what is happening, of course, the action in the market for the Ubricoin. So currently, UBN has been trading fairly well, though the price has gone down a little bit today. But we had seen a good price at around just around, yeah, this was what time? Let me see. This was around 11. The price was doing really well, but we know that there's got to be more action for the Ubricoin. So we need more action taking place, guys. And of course, today we are seeing that Finexbox is definitely the most active market trading the Ubricoin, and of course Finexbox is a darling to many people. People love going to Finexbox, and especially the UBN ETH, so you need to visit that. And even as you relax, just remember that trading can be a very good hobby. It can actually also be your full-time job, if you really want to know how cryptos work. Begin with the Ubricoin, and of course, once you get to know exactly how the basic trading of Ubricoin goes on, then you can advance the stage of arbitrage trading, which is really going to be amazing. So we want to call everybody to come on board, because together we can achieve so much more. So we want to still give a rallying call to everyone. And of course, if you're a Ubricoin holder, you have a responsibility of ensuring your friend, your relative, your husband, your spouse, your friend, your enemy has the Ubricoin, because we know that once you have the Ubricoin, then the wealth, the wellness, and well-being is definitely coming to us. So we really need to increase the 69,696 UBN holders. We also want to increase we want to see how we can increase this number. Really, it's really important. So let's keep doing it. It's coming in slow. We're still getting the numbers, and we know that we're going to hit the 70 mark before the end of this coming weeks. So we need to keep calling our friends, we need to keep calling everybody on board to come and become a Ubricoin holder, because once we add more people, then that means that the price goes high. And of course, what is going to happen to the Ubricoin is exactly what you expect. The profit that you want to get is for that extra person that you bring on board, so that we can see even daily, we can register better trading volumes, 24-hour trading volumes for the Ubricoin. So guys, I've got to love you and leave you, but not without a quote. And today we're wrapping up the show with a quote by Mike C. Adams. That's author Mike C. Adams. Each person has the motivation and the drive to become self disciplined if they put their minds to it, and the time and effort that will be required for success. I repeat, each person has the motivation and the drive to become self disciplined if they put their minds to it, and the time and effort that will be required for success. I have been your girl, Scholastica Mugi, and until tomorrow, it is goodbye for now. Ciao!